Hey guys, Chicago injury lawyer Scott DeSalvo here, and in today's video, the topic is going to be, I have a torn rotator cuff. What do I need to know, and do I need to talk to a lawyer about it? Okay, so even though our arms are very strong, we rely on them to do so much for us. The shoulder joint is actually a very, very delicate joint because of the way it is put together. Okay, it's real easy to hurt your shoulder, and you probably, if you're watching this video, you probably know it, right? So what is a torn rotator cuff, and how might you know that you have one? Well, a lot of pain and a loss of range of motion is huge. So if you're like having problems raising your arm, you can't really get your arm all the way up, you have a lot of pain and discomfort, feels weird, you may have a torn rotator cuff. So what you need to go to a specialist, right? So usually people start out at a family doctor and then they go to a specialist. A specialist, the kind of specialist you need is an orthopedic specialist that's a bone doctor, and that's the kind of doctor who treats a torn rotator cuff. So what they'll do is they will examine you in the office, and from the exam, if you're with a good orthopedic doctor, they're going to know pretty darn certain, just based on the physical tests they have you do in the office, whether it's a rotator cuff tear. Now you can have a partial tear that gives you some symptoms, or you can have a full tear. If you have a full tear, again, it depends on symptoms, but they usually have to do surgery on a full tear, okay? But even on a partial tear, depending on how bad the tear is, where it is, and what your symptoms are like, they may have to do surgery. But this is the good news. The vast majority of torn or partially torn rotator cuffs can get better just with therapy. You just have to be patient and make all of your appointments. So so you go to the office, they diagnose you in the office, they're usually gonna send you, unless they see something in the office that's really bad, they're usually gonna send you for an MRI, and then the MRI will tell the doctor, this guy or gal needs surgery now, or it tells them, let's try therapy. And if most orthopedics are gonna say, they're going to give you the option. Do you want to try therapy? We think surgery will fix it. Which would you prefer? Most people want to avoid surgery, and depending on the pain level and all that, you can do therapy. And I'm going to tell you, I was skeptical about physical therapy years and years ago as a young lawyer. As a guy in my late 20s, early 30s, I was still in the I'm indestructible phase. I thought, I didn't need therapy, et cetera, et cetera. But I've had some injuries since then, and boy, I will tell you what, a good physical therapist is awesome. A good chiropractor is awesome. They can really help you. So don't discount doing therapy to treat your rotator cuff injury. Now, if you do the therapy and you're just not getting the results that you need, it'll probably be that your doctor will recommend therapy, or if your doctor does not, your doctor will recommend surgery to repair the rotator cuff tear. Now, a lot of times you have a torn biceps or a partially torn biceps with a rotator cuff tear, depending on how it happens, and they may need to, repair that too. But my point is, therapy might fix it, but if therapy doesn't, you're probably headed to surgery. Now, in some cases, the doctor doesn't even think surgery will help. Those are very rare. Most doctors can at least improve your condition in most rotator cuff tears, and your outcome could be that you're right as rain afterwards, or you're real close to perfect. And sometimes it's a minor improvement that didn't really help you that much, and then everywhere in between. It's very, very rare for a rotator cuff surgery to just not do anything for you. So you might want to consider surgery if you've already tried therapy, but again, that's something for you to discuss with your doctor. Now, a rotator cuff at the beginning, whether you have one that's going to get better with therapy, or whether you have one that is going to require therapy, multiple surgeries, and you still have a bad shoulder for the rest of your life, early on, you don't know which one you have. And the advantage of working with a good attorney early on in the case is the attorney can make sure that you have the strongest case possible. And a lot of the mistakes and errors and positioning by the insurance company take place early on in the case. So that's why I tell people with a serious injury like a rotator cuff tear, whether it ends up not being that serious or whether it ends up being really bad, talking to a lawyer is a really smart idea, especially since injury lawyers give free consultations. Now, if you talk to a lawyer who doesn't want to talk to you, unless you just agree to sign up with them right away, you're not really getting a free consultation. You need to talk to the lawyer, you need to like the lawyer needs to listen to you, right? So if you have a rotator cuff tear or a loved one does and they need to talk to a lawyer, they have questions, they're looking for representation, you can always call me anytime, night or day, 312-500-4500, 312-500-4500, available to talk to you. And other than that, you know, it's nice to have somebody in your corner when you're making these medical decisions and these decisions that have implications for your career and your health for the rest of your life. And that's why working with an experienced injury lawyer who is familiar with rotator cuff injuries is a really good idea. So if you need to reach out, please reach out to me. Otherwise, you know, your lawyer of choice is fine. Or if you're already represented, make sure you consult with your lawyer about all of this stuff. If you're not ready to talk to a lawyer, I have the new case calculator. Tells you what your case might be worth. Link in the description. 100% free. Takes you 15 seconds. I also have the Do I Have a Good Case calculator. Again, 10 or 15 seconds. Just some multiple choice questions, and it gives you a real good idea about whether you have a strong case or a case with some challenges. Offer that completely free and no obligation. Finally, if you wouldn't mind giving me a 5-star review on Google, if you enjoy my content and you wouldn't mind helping me out, it takes you 5 seconds, but it really helps me. I'll leave the link in the description. You just cut and paste it into a web browser, click 5 stars, hit submit, maybe say a kind word in the comments box. Really would help me out. But in the meantime, anything you need, if you have questions, I'm here to talk to you. 312-500-4500. Have a great day. Take care.